Well, today I want to talk about three sort of disease categories combined. One is called the metabolic syndrome. Many years ago it was called Syndrome X, and it's people who have high blood pressure, prediabetes, and also abdominal obesity. And so they have a problem with those three things, and it was called Syndrome X, and now it's called metabolic syndrome. And then obesity. Obesity, of course, is beyond metabolic syndrome, because metabolic syndrome, you do have abdominal obesity, but obesity is, in of its own standing. And then, of course, instead of prediabetes, you got full-blown type 2 diabetes. Okay, now, those three disease entities are found in great detail, certainly in the book Hell's Kitchen, and there is a CD that goes along with it, Hell's Kitchen, so we have a book and a CD. And then epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. You have to appreciate that obesity, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure are all thought to be genetically transmitted by the medical system. None of the three are genetically transmitted. All three are simply nutritional deficiency diseases. They can be overt nutritional deficiency diseases, or they can be secondary to malabsorption problems, lack of stomach acid because people restrict salt, because the government and doctors told them salt was bad, and then it could be due to gluten intolerance, which is extremely common. 70% of Americans, regardless of race or gender or age, have a gluten intolerance, and it actually causes a decline in the efficiency of absorption from the small intestine. So no matter if you supplement, you could supplement properly and eat properly and still get these deficiencies, because you could have a reduction of your efficiency of absorption by as much as 75 to 85%. Okay? Now, when you look at obesity, the theory there is by the medical system and the government is caused by eating too much and lack of exercise. Well, following that theory over the last 75 years and people exercising more and eating less, we became the number one obese nation in the world. So obviously that theory didn't work. But they still keep hugging on to it because science moves ahead one funeral at a time. And then high blood pressure, doctors wanted to call it genetic, particularly in the black community, the African-American community, and they want you to believe that it's, again, contributed to by, aggravated by using salt. Absolutely nothing can be further from the truth. And then the diabetes, we've known for 70 years, type 2 diabetes, which makes up 98% of the diabetic population, is in fact a simple deficiency of a single mineral. We've known for 70 years, but the doctors keep pushing the genetic thing. They keep raising money for the cure. Well, the prevention cure is already here. So I urge you to get a hold of the book, Hell's Kitchen, and the accompanying CD from your Youngevity associate in Hell's Kitchen. The subtitle is The Cause, Prevention, and Cure of Obesity, Type 2 Diabetes, and the Metabolic Syndrome. All three tend to run together, not because one creates the other. They're not related genetically, because there is no genetics involved, but they're all nutritional deficiencies. And so it's, a very easy mental leap to understand if you can't absorb things, even if you're supplementing, you're going to get multiple deficiencies. And so it's not hard to figure out why you can have those three entities, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and what was originally called Syndrome X, which is now the metabolic syndrome, which is belly fat, belly obesity, and then, like a beer belly or wheat belly kind of thing, high blood pressure, and prediabetes. Well, again, the book, Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, goes through the history of this stuff and shows you all the missteps the medical system used. And, of course, their approach to these diseases have killed millions of people. The approach to these diseases by the medical system in America has killed millions of people. And so I want you to kind of step out, get out of line, and begin to do these things yourself. Remember, my favorite Nobel Prize winner, Albert Einstein, said many global things which people keep trying to unwind. They cannot unwind any one of his proposals for science and so forth. But when it came to just science, when it came to life, when it came to, and he was a true polymath, meaning he was an expert in many things, my favorite statement is, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. So, it's time. If you've been fighting being overweight or obese, you've been fighting high blood pressure, you've been fighting things like type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, and you've been following the doctor's instructions. You're exercising, you're eating less, you're losing weight, and you drop your blood pressure a little bit, reduce the amount of medication you need for your diabetes. And so you're still not quite where you want to be, and you just got to work at it so hard. Well, I want you to contact your Youngevity associate and get a hold of the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, the book and the CD, Hell's Kitchen, and you're going to be amazed at how much science there is. There's tens of millions, maybe even billions of dollars worth of research on these subjects, and doctors continue to disregard them, which is very typical of 5,000 years ago during the days of the Pharaoh, when medical doctors were sure, I mean, they were sure as there was gravity that the earth was flat. And then they were sure, they were sure that diseases were caused by evil spirits. And then they were sure that diseases just happened. The spontaneous generation was called, that theory. And then they knew it was caused by little gods sitting on planets determining your future and what disease you're going to get and if you're going to survive an epidemic and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, they believed in the four humours. That's the funniest one. They were still teaching the four humours and bleeding, bloodletting until 1920 in American medical schools. Well, get a hold of it. Get a hold of yourself and the people you love. Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, Hell's Kitchen. And we'll be back with more truth, justice, and the Youngevity way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
Well, we should get this out of the way right off the bat. And ever since I first met you nearly 20 years ago, you have been talking about telling people to salt their food to taste, which flies in the face of what the doctors have been telling people for the last 30 years or so. And I like to tell my story is that my father had a heart attack when I was 17 years old. And, of course, at that time, they were telling everyone, go on a low-sodium diet. So my mom put the whole family on a low-sodium diet. And then by the time I was 20, I started having all kinds of digestive problems that I suffered with for probably about 20 years till I met you. And I started salting my food to taste. And, what happened? All the heartburn went away. Well, now we've got a story that I found in the New York Post headlined, Salt May Not Affect Heart Risks. They say a new study suggests that dietary salt may have little or no effect on the risk of heart disease in older adults. This was in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Internal Medicine, and they say it included 2,600 plus people aged 74. Half were women, 62% were white, 38 were African American, and they all were free of heart disease at the start of the study. Researchers followed them for 10 years, had them fill out dietary questionnaires to estimate their sodium intake. After they adjusted for sex, race, body index, mass index, and more than 24 other health and behavioral characteristics over a range of sodium intake from less than 1,500 milligrams a day to more than 2,300, about a teaspoon. And there was no significant difference in the risk for cardiovascular disease, heart failure, or death. And according to the lead author, Dr. Andreas P. Kalogeropoulos, an assistant professor of medicine at Emory University, acknowledged that the estimate of salt intake was based on self-reports, so maybe it wasn't as reliable. But the current guidelines call for sodium intake less than 1,500 milligrams a day for older people than older than 51. But, of course, typical for doctors, he says, there's still no reason to raise the number. We need more prospective evidence in clinical trial before moving in that direction for older adults. He said, by no means our findings are a license to consume more salt. So there you go. But you've been vindicated, Doc, because you've been saying that for the whole time I've known you.
Yeah, and, of course, this goes to, when you have animals just have free access to salt licks and so forth, they will consume salt until they meet their needs and they stop. And animals just don't have high blood pressure problems or cardiovascular problems. And, of course, it's because we've dealt with their nutrition. We've eliminated the bad stuff because we don't have health insurance for them. And every doctor, it's my opinion here, Doug, that every doctor who tells people to reduce their salt intake should pay for their care for reflux, commonly called, incorrectly, but commonly called acid reflux, because sodium chloride, which is salt, has many thousands, many tens of thousands of functions in the body. The sodium part, sodium chloride, the sodium part is essential cofactor for biochemical and hormone reactions in the body, enzyme reactions in the body. The chloride is essential for enzyme things like biochemical and hormone reactions in the body, but also it's required to make stomach acid, and that's why you're having such a hard time with heartburn, because there is no such thing as acid reflux. Reflux is a deficiency of sodium chloride, salt. It's a physician-caused disease. There didn't never used to be reflux, but now there's reflux because you can't make stomach acid and keep your stomach sterile without sodium chloride. So every doctor should be fined some way and has license suspended for a couple of years if he's ever recommended people restrict salt. But thank you for bringing that up to the surface. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to California. And Steve, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Steve, you're on the air.
Hey, Dr. Wallach. I recently got your book, Let's Play Doctor, and I did a glucose tolerance test on myself. And I was testing to see if I had hypoglycemia because I did have some sleeping problems, or still do, actually. And I just wanted to run some numbers by you to see what you thought.
Sure.
So my fasting blood glucose level was 88.
Okay.
And the lowest, it did go down below 88. About the second hour, it was at 79, and that's the lowest it went.
Okay. And then how fast did it come back up over 88?
Let's see. Are you talking about like in first
3 hours, minutes? 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours.
Okay. So the third hour was 83, fourth hour was 90, and then it stayed up around 90.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, you have a 9-point difference there, and I would rerun it a week later. And did you run it before you had eaten that day? You did it first thing in the morning, or did you eat it? Do the 6-hour glucose tolerance test in the middle of the day after you had breakfast, and you did it before lunch, or when did you do it?
Actually, I did it right in the morning, and I just basically drank 100 grams of fructose.
Yeah. Well, fructose, that's a little bit different. You're going to get different numbers than if you use glucose. So it's not a glucose tolerance test. You had a fructose tolerance test, okay? And so you need to rerun it using glucose.
It's kind of hard finding. I did it with juices, but it's
no. You go to the pharmacy, and you just ask for a bottle of glucose. They have them there for people who want to do their own glucose tolerance test, or for people who have diabetes and they knock themselves out and they want to have glucose available for immediately rising. Yeah. So that's not a correct test.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you got to do it with glucose because you can't do a glucose tolerance test with fructose. But thanks for bringing that up. Okay?
All right.
Okay, yeah, let me know when you do it with glucose. Let's see what the numbers are. It'll be very interesting to compare the two. All right, well, stick with us. We're going to be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages.
All right, let's head to Virginia. And Steve, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Steve, you're on the air.
Yes, thank you. We have a relative, a friend, who has been diagnosed with lung cancer, and he stopped smoking several years ago, and he has one kidney and pulmonary edema, apparently. That's what we hear. He's not living near us, but we were wondering what steps he
Sure.
could be...
Do you have any idea how much this fellow weighs?
He is pretty thin. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him for a while, but he's on the thin side.
Okay, so maybe 150 to 180 pounds, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, perhaps, I think maybe even a little less.
Okay. Well, if he's got lung cancer, he's got a life-threatening disease, so we have to use a little bit of a heavy hammer here rather than just poke at it, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to stop the ongoing damage, and quitting smoking certainly is a good thing, but he also needs to get rid of any inflammatory foods. That means no fried foods. Okay, can't even be any in the house because just smelling the fumes it will hurt this guy. So no fried foods, no being around any place that fries foods. Don't go into any restaurant with friends or relatives where they fry foods. Then he's got to stay away from processed meats. That means nitrates, deli slices, sandwich meat, sausage, ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, Spam, all that kind of stuff. Got to stay away from oils because they turn into trans fatty acids, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides, all of which drive cancer and can actually cause cancer. So that means no olive oil, no coconut oil, no margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressing, and cooking oils, and no gluten because they're inflammatory. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. No wheat, barley, and oats. He can take in calories to keep his weight up with baked sweet potatoes and butter and cinnamon, baked white potatoes with butter and cinnamon. He can have rice. He can have millet. He can have buckwheat, which is not wheat. There's enormous amounts of gluten-free products available now in just about every grocery store. We actually have Valerie's gluten-free cookbook if he likes to cook. And then let's assume he's 140 to 150 pounds kind of thing. He's an adult man. I would give him 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's our heaviest duty packs that will allow him to have 3 of the Ultimate Selenium twice a day, 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus twice a day, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine 2.0 twice a day, 3 of the EFA Pluses twice a day, 3 of the EFAs twice a day, and all that would be accomplished by the 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I'd also throw in 2 bottles of the Ocean's Gold. That's for the sea cucumber in there because they're so well respected now for supporting the immune system of people with advanced cancers, soft tissue cancers. And so I'd have them take 3 of the Ocean's Gold tablets at breakfast or at dinner. That's 2 bottles a month, again, for the sea cucumber that's in there. And then I would have them take the Z-Radical, 3 ounces a day, an ounce at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 3 quarts a month. It has fucoidan in it. Over 800 studies that show that it helps support the immune system of people who have chronic diseases, including cancer and lupus and that kind of stuff. Call us every couple of weeks. Make sure he's eating high-quality foods like eggs. And we'll be back after these messages.
All right, let's head to Tennessee. And Leo, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Leo, you're on the air.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach, for receiving my call.
Hey, yes, sir. What's up?
I've been on your products now for about 11 months, and I got a new cardiologist, and he took, I went to the hospital on yesterday, and I took a test called the TEE, which is the transesophageal echocardiogram, and they found that there was a hole in my heart. I just found this out on yesterday. It's my first time hearing this after having many cardiologists. He said there's a hole in my heart, and he believed it's a birth defect.
Yep.
And because of that, he said that one of the leaflets looked like it is causing the aorta valve to leak severely.
Okay, now, I believe that you do have that hole in your heart. Is it a foraminal valley, did he call it?
What kind it was? He said there's a hole in my heart. He said,
is it in the wall separating the 2 parts of the heart?
He said that it's causing the aorta to leak, but he didn't say
Okay,
that.
he didn't give you the location of it. Yeah, you want to find out the location of it.
Okay.
But at any rate, yeah, this is a very common birth defect. You know, mama's missing zinc when the heart's forming and so forth, and it's not genetic in any way, shape, or form. And how old are you, sir?
I'm 68 now.
68?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you know you had a heart problem?
When I was 18, playing the big basketball, that's when I first heard anything about something was wrong with my heart.
And did they put you on medication or just watch it?
Well, the doctor I had gave me a bicillin shot every month, digitoxin, and Inderal for, a number of years, and then he died.
He was treating you. Oh, the doctor died.
Right.
he was treating you. He was treating you for congestive heart failure. Is what he was treating you for with the digitalis. Okay. But at any rate, what I would do here is a little bit different. They're talking about lining up for surgery. Is what they're smacking their lips and rubbing their hands. Oh man, we got a new Mercedes out of this dude. Okay, that's the way they're thinking. And so, what I want you to do immediately, and you weigh how much?
I was 150, but I'm 139 now.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other issues, any history of asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that?
Nothing.
Okay, good. All right. What I would do is have you take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I'd also
I'm taking 2 now.
Okay, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. You've been doing that for 11 months, you said, right?
Right, I'm taking it. Right.
Then, if you haven't, I'd get an extra bottle of selenium, so you can take 3 selenium twice a day. Okay, you'll have to get an extra bottle of selenium to pull that off. Okay, because 1 bottle of selenium comes with the healthy brain and heart pack. I want you to get another bottle of selenium because I want you to take 3 selenium twice a day, which is necessary for healthy heart muscle. Then I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of the de-stress capsules. De-stress capsules. Okay, I want you to take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That'll happen with 2 bottles a month of the de-stress capsules. And they're designed to deal with the metabolism of the heart muscle and the metabolism of the large blood vessels going in and out of the heart. Okay? And then, of course, I want you to get rid of all inflammatory foods. No fried foods. No exception. No fried foods whatsoever. And then absolutely no processed meats or nitrates or nitrites. It means no deli slices, sandwich meat, sausage, ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, Spam, that kind of stuff. No oils because they cause inflammatory damage and will clog arteries and do that kind of stuff. And so absolutely no olive oil, no coconut oil, no margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils. And if you eat canned fish, it's fine, but they got to be packed in water, mustard, tomato sauce, and not oils. And then no gluten because they're also inflammatory. That means no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. You can keep your calories up by eating the baked sweet potatoes with butter and cinnamon, baked white potatoes with butter and cinnamon. You can also eat rice. You can eat millet. You can eat buckwheat, which is not wheat. Grocery stores, again, are full of aisles that have gluten-free items in it. They have gluten-free crackers and gluten-free bread and gluten-free pasta and gluten-free all kinds of stuff, pizza crust. We actually have the Go Foods that 25-year shelf life. They're all non-GMO. They're all non-MSG. They're all organic, and I think about 50% of them are gluten-free. And so it's a great way to, be in control of your gluten levels. You want to just totally avoid that because they're inflammatory in your cardiovascular system. And then I would also throw in the Immortalium. I would take 3 of those tablets twice a day, Immortalium, and they're designed to support and stimulate the production of stem cells in tissues that require repair. Okay? And so if you have stem cells going on in your heart, they're going to get active and begin to do their job. If you don't have any stem cells going in there, the supplementation of Immortalium is designed to support and promote healthy stem cell production, healthy stem cell activity. And the whole goal here is to begin to repair injured heart muscle, to actually support and promote growth of more heart muscle, and also heart metabolism and the health of the very active heart muscle. So that's kind of the direction I would go. Wouldn't hurt to get another opinion if you want to from another cardiologist at the other end of the world who doesn't have anything to do with these guys. But if you don't have clinical disease where you're disabled and require a wheelchair and can't walk 2 feet without being breathless, I would be real reluctant to do surgery since you've had that hole in your heart since, when they were like 2 months an embryo. Give me a call every couple of weeks. If you would, Leo, call me certainly anytime you talk to the doctor, and we'll walk you guys through this, I'm including the doctor here. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to Jacksonville, Florida. And Pete, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Pete, you're on the air.
Hey, Doc, how are you?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
Well, a few things. I just have a few things. One is I've noticed in the last few months that my ankles swell, my left one more so than my right. I go to bed at night. I get up in the morning. The swelling is down. Mm-hmm. Within a half an hour, 45 minutes, you can already see a little bit of swelling in the ankle. By mid-afternoon or mid-morning, not to the point where it's discomfortable, but it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
And I'm overweight. I'm 5'11", weight 275. I'm 71. That's my story.
Okay. Do you have any diabetes or high blood pressure or skin problems?
No.
You ever have any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea?
No.
Okay, good. All right. When you have ankles that swell, this can be liver problems, heart problems. It could be kidney problems. It could be just low blood protein. Do you have any recent blood work that would give you any sense what your protein levels were?
I do have. Yes, I did. I just had some about a month ago. My wife can pick it out real quick.
Have her look and see if they list the protein levels as low, or if they don't put an L or an H by it. H means high, L means low. If they don't put any one of those letter designations, they're probably right in the middle of the range. But hang on, Pete. We'll be back with you after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity and 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go right back to Florida and Pete. Okay, so first of all, I want you to make sure you're eating at least 6 to 8 eggs a day, and they can be poached with soft yolk, soft boiled with soft yolk, soft scrambled in butter, not oils or margarines. No oils or margarines, no fried foods, no processed meats, absolutely no oils, no olive oil, coconut oil, margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressing, cooking oil, no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And then, ideally, because you're 275, you should have 3 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month. But if that's financially a burden, go at least with 2. You get down to 1, a guy your size, you're not going to see much. And so I'm going to give you the ideal, but if you have to cut it by a third, that's fine. So 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month. That would be 3 of the selenium capsules at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 1 ounce of the OsteoFX Plus at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine 2.0 NutriCrystals at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 of the EFAs at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All that will be accomplished by the 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month. I would also have you take 12 of the Ultimate Daily tablets, primarily for circulation, 4 at breakfast, 4 at lunch, 4 at dinner. That's going to take 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily tablets to pull that off. And then for your weight at 5'11", I'd like to see it 5'11", 180 to 200, depending on your build and so forth, but certainly below 200, so we need to lose at least 75 pounds, maybe 85, 90 pounds. And I want you to get 2 bottles of the ASAP. Put a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal. Put a second dropper full under your tongue 15 minutes before each meal. And leave it absorb through your oral tissues. Keep your head tilted to the side until it's absorbed, usually about a minute or so. And don't swallow it. It won't hurt you if you swallow it, but you won't get the maximum benefit. And usually within a couple of days on this program, which includes the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for your body weight, you'll begin to lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And the magic here is, Pete, as long as you stay on the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for body weight, you won't gain the weight back, because being overweight is, in fact, a deficiency disease. It has nothing to do with eating too much or lack of exercise. It's a nutritional deficiency, all right? And nutritional deficiencies of the heart, the kidneys, and the liver can certainly cause edema problems, water problems. But to increase your protein intake, really work on eating more vegetables and staying away from the carbs and getting rid of gluten. Just remember that even gluten bread, gluten-free breads and gluten-free crackers and gluten-free pasta still have 4.5 calories per gram. You're not cutting out calories when you're eating gluten-free. You're just cutting out gluten. And so one of the nice things about it is that your cravings for food will go way, way down when you take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for your body weight. So give us a call every couple of weeks. I want to know your blood pressure. I want to know your weight. And any other bits of information, give us, talk about your ankle swelling and so forth. And anytime you have lab work, give us a call, and we'll walk you through this, okay?
Something else?
No, that's 3 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Dailies, 12 of those a day, and that's kind of where I would start. And, of course, the 2 bottles of the ASAP. That's where I would start, okay? That's why I want you to call me every couple of weeks, because when you give me information back, I want to know your weight, your blood pressure. I want to know what your ankles are doing. And then when you call me every 2 weeks, give me that information. Then we'll know if we need to add something else, okay? All right. Let's see here. How much time we have here, Doug?
You got about 25 seconds.
Oh, 25 seconds. I'm just going to remind everybody about my new book, Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Get a hold of the book, Epigenetics, the book, Immortality, and the book, Rare Earth Bin Cures, and you'll find out why the top 20 longevity cultures have 40 times 100-year-olds we Americans do. They have 100-year-old per 250 of their population. We only have 100-year-old per 10,000. What are their secrets? Get a hold of the book, Immortality, the book, Epigenetics, and the book, Rare Earth Bin Cures, and these secrets are laid out very clearly. You can do these things that they do. You can do them in your home and add many healthy years to your life and the people you love. Okay, well, thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.